So let me get this straight. Xbox does its reveal, they do their showcase, the direct, and then while they're at it, they go ahead and drop a game stealth-wise. I think this company is serious about getting games to its consumers. You can say whatever you want. Now, not saying that they're your friend, but they know that it's going to be the most profitable path for them forward. And at the end of the day, there is just no reason why anybody can say that the Game Pass perspective is one that is inferior. Now, before somebody jumps in here and says, well, Xbox has jumped all in on subscription services, we actually have people that believe that you only subscribe to Game Pass with no option to buy a game. You'll judge it by their statements. They'll say, well, Game Pass is all about subscription. They don't want you to own anything. Xbox doesn't want you to own your games. Well, Ninja Gaiden 2 Black has two options here on the store on PC. You can either play the game because you have a Game Pass subscription, have Ultimate, or you can buy the game for $49.99, of which I've already been playing a little bit of it. Never played a Ninja Gaiden game before, by the way. I've seen it. I know of the franchise since when I was a kid, but, never really was something that I got into. But believe you me, this is the most Ninja Gaiden that I've played lately. And I gotta tell you, if it wasn't for the fact that I could actually test it out with no commitment, I would not be aware if I should or shouldn't, purchase the game. And believe you me, I'm liking what I see. So the likelihood of me getting this game as a collection or something is now a thing. It's now on the table. And I said this morning in my last video that I launched. I said, ladies and gentlemen, it appears that Xbox has a strategy to just make sure that their customers are happy and that their customers have games to play. It will continue to be this pattern to a point where you won't remember what's on the other side. I've noticed this theme. There's just a lot of these concerns about, what this game is doing over there going to PlayStation, or what Nintendo is doing over there and all of the above. And man, I gotta tell you, that is all FOMO talking, because Xbox didn't come out here to play. They also went ahead and did their Doom unveiling, which I think is another anticipated game. And at the end of the day, it's just very interesting how all this is coming together. But there is something that needs to be pointed out. And that is the hyper PlayStation fan who is never satisfied seeing Xbox doing anything. I already see some on Twitter. Not even going to bother giving you any attention today because, man, you really need to basically get a reverse spanking where basically they travel back in your timeline if it's possible and light you up for the entitlement that you felt as a child, because it seems like some of you did not necessarily get put in your place, and the way you behave is just so funny. We look at it and it's funny because it's childish behavior. These folk are saying, where are the exclusives? These games are all coming to PlayStation. Dude, the exclusive is Game Pass. It's literally right here. Like, before you decide, okay, should I buy the game? Should I not buy the game? We on the Xbox ecosystem are already playing the game. I am already playing the game. I got to take a break. I got to do some more work, go hang out, watch Avatar with the kids. But then it's back to Ninja Gaiden if I choose that that's the game that I want to be playing. And this is the benefit that I've been telling Xbox fans. Xbox fans, I got to say, man, it took wading through a lot for the PC guy who does not like your console anyways. Believe you me, I'll be honest with you guys. When Gotham Knights came out, it really increased my disdain for the consoles. Because I was already okay with them as a proposition. I mean, yeah, I'll just pay for, pay to play online and all that stuff. That was not my cup of tea anymore. I mean, I was not feeling it. But when Gotham Knights came out and I saw that these consoles could not push the game, and then I realized that there are just some games that will have some issues. I was not happy with the marketing that Xbox and PlayStation did with all their 4K 120 FPS, and in the case of PlayStation, talking about support of 8K media with all this talk of 4K 120 FPS and nonsense. And that really got me really worried about the way these consoles were actually taking things. But I gotta say, if you take some time to breathe and look at it, the Xbox's ecosystem is, in my opinion, second to none right now. If you were worried about Nintendo, the Switch 2, and all that, sit here and wait it out and just play games. I'm telling you, this market pressure that Game Pass is bringing to the market is an entire disruption. The fact that they're doing stealth drops is a disruption to the entire market in terms of gaming. Also, fundamentally, beyond all this, circumstances, developers are eating. Because what this means is this game being on PlayStation signals to a developer, if we're in the Xbox ecosystem and we're running Game Pass, we still get exposure. Do you know how many developers are going to be pining to get into this pipeline, especially on the Japanese side, the Asian side, and across the board from indies? I strongly believe that you're about to start seeing a shift as things go on. And I told y'all, ladies and gentlemen, Microsoft's got money. If they wanted to do the money-hatting game with PlayStation, PlayStation will not be able to survive one half a generation of it. But they've decided, instead of doing all that nonsense, why don't we just bring the game to Game Pass for our community if the developers are willing to take the fee, take some development costs in some cases, and we'll let them publish on PlayStation. What? As a developer, I'm thinking to myself, heck yeah. I think they need to go ahead and open up their PC store. There's nothing stopping Xbox from taking this thing to the next level and making sure that their PC store matches the content that's available on other PC stores across the board. They can't be wasting any time, because the more they're wasting time, the more the market is probably leaving them. Now, don't get me wrong. There are people who are PC players that will be mad at me saying, why are you promoting Game Pass? I've seen people on the PC side that say we buy our games on Steam, we buy our games on Good Old Games and all of this stuff. I buy my games there too. But by golly, in this economy, am I going to be spending hundreds of dollars for any game that I want? No. If there's a deal somewhere, we all go there. And that's the PC side. We enjoy the Steam sales. We talk about it all the time. We tout it. We flaunt it. But then somehow we'll look down on Game Pass, which gives you basically all of this for a small subscription fee. And us on the PC side have access to key stores where we can buy and leverage these, Game Pass Ultimate keys at competitive rates. So if you're on the PlayStation side and you're still sitting here talking about this, it's jealousy and vitriol and envy. I don't think we can take you seriously anymore. I strongly believe now those agencies have been fully exposed as to what's going on. This post was very interesting about this scenario in terms of what the positive is for developers. This person, Jared Christian, says and replies to Clobril's message and says, this game is the first proof that the path Microsoft is taking with these publishing contracts and releasing it on all platforms will cause more independent developers to pitch to Microsoft. Microsoft will fit the bill. Game will drop on Xbox and into Game Pass. Developers won't be worried about the single platform lockdown, keeping it from being successful. So making games multi-platform will give people access to their games because that's going to reveal on everything possible. I know for a fact if I was an independent AAA developer, I would already be trying to call Xbox for a publishing deal. This is a win-win for Xbox, for developers, and a win for gamers everywhere. I agree. I picked up on Real Engine. I'm like, guys, let's do something cool. And boy, I'm still in the beginning phases. We ain't done nothing yet. But if I was in that situation, there's no way I'm looking at PlayStation, because you lock my game down, I become Kenna Bridge of Spirits. You lock my game down, I become Death Stranding. I become stranded on one platform. Then I'm on the newspapers saying things like, well, the next Final Fantasy game is not planned to be exclusive. Well, why didn't you stick with that exclusivity deal, Square Enix, if it was so favorable for you? Now, that's the side of me that hates exclusives that came out. I don't like them. I don't know why they're a thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, sure. And I will even give concession and say, first party, sure, it's your console and all that. But these developers that are running all over the place chasing this exclusivity money, how has that worked out? Because 2-3 years into it, 4 years, nobody saw how bad it would be. But now it's all out there. And now we got to go read news, in an entirely different language just to basically decipher that you don't want to put your games on PlayStation exclusive. Stay exclusive. Let's see how that works out. Give these new developers room to breathe. Don't come on Xbox. Let the new guys who want money and who want to leverage an audience, let them eat. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I was saying this the whole time. I said, guys, these AAA developers that are keeping their game on PlayStation, the so-called developers you're hearing complaining about Xbox, which were phantom devs, they didn't exist. These PlayStation fanboys that were basically making them up, they'll leave room for the developers who want to make it on Xbox, and they'll make it because they don't have to fight with your big AAA release. Xbox players who just look and say, oh, look, there's a game here. They'll play. But now they all want to come to Xbox and play. Well, I'm glad you guys all woke up. I'm glad you guys all finally figured out that this was going to eventually become awkward when you now want to make Final Fantasy 19 and all the people that didn't play 16 are like, right? Because, you know, there's going to be a Final Fantasy 20 or something, I guess. And, well, scratch head. Well, how am I going to sell 20 to the most amount of people when 16 is missing? How am I going to sell 8 remake? You know, y'all know there's going to be an 8 remake, right? Because 8 is, as many people swear that 7 is the, blah, blah, blah. I know somebody who got held back from school for 8 when I was growing up back in Nigeria. Good friend of mine. We're grown now. But he loved 8 so much. He told us all about it. If they made 8 right now, I guarantee you, he'll break code. You know what I mean? And so when they make 8 remake, who's going to buy it? PlayStation players? Good luck with that. Their own CEO is over there telling them to buy remakes and remasters so that they could fund more games. The market is changing. Everybody's got to come to this from a cerebral perspective. The good old days of doing exclusivity and all that nonsense, it's gone. Gone. Comment section. Thanks for watching. Peace out.